Today our topic is on the Stoic view on facing your fears. Fear is something everyone feels. It is natural. Fear can come from many things: losing a job, failing a test, getting sick, or even just speaking in front of people. Fear can stop us from doing what we want or need to do. But the Stoics, an ancient group of philosophers, had a very different way of looking at fear. They believed that fear is not something to run from, but something to face and understand. The Stoics taught that fear is often worse in our minds than in reality. They said that by facing our fears, we can grow stronger and live better lives. Let's explore how the Stoic philosophy can help us face our fears and live with courage. First, let's talk about what fear really is. Fear is an emotion. It is a feeling that something bad might happen. Sometimes fear is helpful. For example, if you see a dangerous animal, fear can make you run away and stay safe. But often, fear is not helpful. It can make us imagine the worst things, even if they are not likely to happen. The Stoics believe that fear is often based on things we cannot control. For example, you might fear losing your job, but you cannot control whether your boss decides to fire you. You might fear getting sick, but you cannot control every germ or virus around you. The Stoics said that worrying about things we cannot control is a waste of time and energy. Instead, they taught that we should focus on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, and how we respond to fear. One of the most important Stoic ideas is the difference between what we can control and what we cannot control. This idea comes from a philosopher named Epictetus. He said, "Some things are in our control, and some things are not. Things we can control include our opinions, our choices, and our efforts. Things we cannot control include the weather, other people's actions, and the future." Epictetus said that if we focus on what we can control, we will feel more peace and less fear. For example, if you are afraid of failing a test, you cannot control how difficult the test is or what questions are on it. But you can control how much you study, how well you prepare, and how calmly you approach the test. By focusing on what you can control, you reduce the power of fear. Another Stoic philosopher, Seneca, said that fear is often worse than the thing we are afraid of. He wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This means that we often imagine the worst possible outcome, and this makes us feel more fear than is necessary. For example, if you are afraid of speaking in public, you might imagine that everyone will laugh at you, or that you will forget your words. But in reality, these things are unlikely to happen. Even if they do happen, they are not as bad as we imagine. Seneca said that by facing our fears, we can see that they are not as scary as we thought. He encouraged people to practice facing small fears so they could build confidence and courage. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, also wrote about fear. He said that fear is a natural part of life, but it does not have to control us. He believed that we should accept the things we cannot change and focus on being the best version of ourselves. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realizes this, and you will find strength." This means that even if bad things happen, we can choose how we respond. We can choose to stay calm, to learn from the experience, and to keep moving forward. Marcus Aurelius said that by accepting life's challenges, we can turn fear into an opportunity for growth. So, how can we use Stoic philosophy to face our fears in everyday life? The first step is to identify what we are afraid of. Is it a fear of failure, a fear of rejection, or a fear of the unknown? Once we know what we are afraid of, we can ask ourselves, is this fear based on something I can control or something I cannot control? If it is something we cannot control, like the weather or other people's opinions, we should let it go. Worrying about it will not help. If it is something we can control, like our effort or our attitude, we should focus on taking action. The second step is to practice facing small fears. The Stoics believed in building courage through practice. For example, if you are afraid of speaking in public, you could start by speaking in front of a small group of friends. If you are afraid of failing, you could try something new where failure is not a big deal, like learning to cook a new recipe. By facing small fears, you build confidence and learn that you can handle challenges. Over time, this makes it easier to face bigger fears. The third step is to change how we think about fear. The Stoics said that fear is not always bad. It can be a teacher. Fear can show us what we care about and what we need to work on. For example, if you are afraid of losing your job, it might mean that you value your work and want to do well. Instead of letting fear paralyze you, you can use it as motivation to improve your skills or look for new opportunities. The Stoics believe that by changing our perspective, we can turn fear into a tool for growth. The fourth step is to remember that fear is temporary. The Stoics said that nothing lasts forever, including fear. Even the most difficult situations will pass. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything is fleeting, both what remembers and what is remembered." This means that even if we feel afraid now, it will not last. By remembering this, we can stay calm and patient, even in the face of fear. Finally, the Stoics believed in the importance of community and support. Facing fears is easier when we have people who care about us and encourage us. The Stoics said that we should surround ourselves with people who inspire us to be brave and who remind us of what is truly important in life. They also said that we should be that kind of person for others. By helping others face their fears, we become stronger ourselves. In conclusion, the Stoic view on facing fears is about understanding what we can and cannot control. Practicing courage, changing our perspective, remembering that fear is temporary, and seeking support from others. The Stoics did not believe in avoiding fear or pretending it does not exist. Instead, they believed in facing fear head-on and using it as an opportunity to grow. By following their teachings, we can learn to live with courage, peace, and purpose. Fear will always be a part of life, but it does not have to control us. As the Stoics showed us, we have the power to face our fears and become stronger because of them.